Have you ever pondered the essence of suffering and the path to liberation? A profound question, isn't it? It's the very cornerstone of Buddhism, a spiritual journey that has shaped centuries of human thought. What if we told you that this journey is not just about seeking answers, but also about questioning the very nature of our existence? Intriguing, right? So buckle up. Today, we journey through time to explore the roots and evolution of Buddhism. Our journey begins in the 6th century BCE, in the lush landscapes of ancient India. Here, in the lap of luxury, was born a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. His life was one of comfort and privilege, yet a profound sense of dissatisfaction haunted him. He was deeply troubled by the suffering he saw around him, the inevitable cycle of birth, sickness, old age, and death. One day, Siddhartha decided to leave behind his royal life and embark on a spiritual quest to understand the core of human suffering. He explored various paths, studying under different spiritual teachers and practicing severe asceticism. But none of these gave him the answers he sought. Then, on one fateful night under the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha vowed not to move until he had found the truth. He meditated deeply, focusing his mind until, in the profound stillness of the night, he attained a state of supreme and perfect insight. This was the moment of his enlightenment, the moment when he became the Buddha, the awakened one. From then on, Buddha began to share his wisdom, teaching others about the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. He taught the middle way, a path of moderation, away from the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. Buddha's teachings, his wisdom, and his compassion formed the foundation of what we now know as Buddhism. Buddhism is not just a religion, but a philosophy and a way of life. It is a journey towards self-realization and enlightenment, offering insights into the deepest workings of life and existence. Buddha's teachings continue to resonate with millions around the world, providing guidance and solace in times of uncertainty and change. Thus, Buddha was born not as a divine entity, but as a man who discovered the path to liberation. His journey from a prince to an enlightened being is a testament to the transformative power of wisdom and compassion, inspiring us to look within and find our own path to liberation. At the heart of Buddhism lie the Four Noble Truths. These truths form the core of Buddha's teachings, and understanding them is key to grasping the essence of Buddhism. They are profound, yet simple, and are as follows. First, there is the truth of suffering, known as dukkha. This truth acknowledges that life invariably involves suffering. It's not just about physical pain or anguish, but it also refers to a subtle, pervasive dissatisfaction that's intertwined with our existence. It's the dissatisfaction we feel when we can't hold on to things we like, and the distress we experience when we're exposed to things we don't like. Next, we have the truth of the cause of suffering, known as samudaya. This truth explains that the root cause of our suffering is desire or craving, fueled by ignorance. We crave for things to be different from how they are. We yearn for what we don't have, and we cling to what we do have, fearing its loss. This craving leads us to a cycle of dissatisfaction. The third is the truth of the end of suffering, known as nirodha. This truth offers a beacon of hope. It states that it's possible to end this cycle of suffering. By extinguishing our cravings and desires, and by understanding the true nature of things, we can achieve a state of supreme liberation and happiness, known as nirvana. Finally, there is the truth of the path that leads to the end of suffering, known as magga. This is the practical aspect of the teachings, the Eightfold Path. It's a guide for ethical living, meditation, and wisdom that, if followed, leads to the cessation of suffering. These truths serve as the guiding principles of Buddhism, leading towards the end of suffering. They invite us to examine our lives, understand the nature of our dissatisfaction, and take steps towards liberation. In essence, they provide a roadmap to inner peace and ultimate happiness. From the tranquil corners of India, Buddhism began to spread. The teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, resonated with people far beyond his homeland. His message of compassion, mindfulness, and the quest for enlightenment ignited a spiritual flame that would traverse continents. Just as a river's journey is shaped by the terrain it crosses, Buddhism's spread was influenced by the cultures and societies it encountered. The journey began in India, during the reign of Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE. A devout Buddhist himself, Ashoka sent missionaries to the corners of his vast empire, and even beyond its borders, planting the seeds of Buddhism in the hearts and minds of people across the region. From India, Buddhism flowed into Central Asia, carried by merchants and missionaries along the Silk Road. It found fertile ground in the kingdoms of the Kushans and the Uyghurs, where it merged with local traditions and gave rise to distinct forms of Buddhist practice. The river of Buddhism then branched eastward into China, where it took root and flourished. Here, it was influenced by Taoism and Confucianism, resulting in the development of unique schools like Pure Land and Zen. Further east, Buddhism reached the islands of Japan and Korea. In Japan, it evolved into distinctive sects such as Shingon and Jodo Shinshu, while in Korea, it influenced the development of the Hwaum and Seon schools. To the south, the teachings of the Buddha found their way to the island of Sri Lanka, and from there to the kingdoms of Southeast Asia. In these lands, Theravada Buddhism became the dominant form, emphasizing personal enlightenment and strict adherence to the original teachings of the Buddha. As Buddhism spread, it adapted to the cultures it encountered, resulting in a rich tapestry of practices and traditions. From the tranquil corners of India to the far reaches of Asia, Buddhism's journey has been one of adaptation and evolution, creating a diverse spiritual landscape that continues to inspire and guide millions of people around the world. Fast forward to the present day, Buddhism has found a home across the world. It has not only endured, but thrived, evolving and adapting to the different cultures and societies it has touched. Today, there are approximately 500 million practicing Buddhists worldwide, making it one of the largest religions. It's not confined to the East anymore. Buddhism has made its way to the West, influencing not just spiritual practices, but also philosophy, psychology, arts, and even technology. Buddhism's core teachings of mindfulness and compassion resonate with the modern individual. In a fast-paced world where stress and anxiety are commonplace, the practice of mindfulness, a key Buddhist principle, provides an antidote. It encourages living in the moment, fostering a sense of peace and contentment that is often elusive in today's world. The Buddhist philosophy of interconnectedness also finds relevance in our increasingly globalized world. It teaches us that all beings are connected, promoting empathy, compassion, and a sense of responsibility towards each other and our planet. It's no surprise that many environmental and social movements today draw inspiration from these Buddhist principles. Buddhism's influence on modern society extends beyond individual well-being. It informs ethical frameworks in various sectors, from business to healthcare, advocating for fairness, respect, and kindness in all interactions. It has also entered academia, with Buddhist studies being a respected field in many universities worldwide. What's more, Buddhism is not rigid. It's a living tradition that continues to evolve, yet it stays true to its core teachings. This adaptability is perhaps why it remains relevant and appealing to a diverse range of people, from the spiritual seeker to the curious philosopher, the stressed executive to the mindful artist. In a world seeking peace and contentment, Buddhism continues to provide a path towards liberation. Its timeless wisdom, practical teachings, and universal principles continue to inspire and guide millions, proving that Buddhism, despite its ancient roots, is very much a religion for today, and likely for many tomorrows to come. At its core, Buddhism is more than a religion. It's a philosophy, a way of life, a path that leads us towards a profound understanding of ourselves and the universe. It's a guide to navigating the complexities of existence, offering a set of tools for cultivating mindfulness, compassion, and the pursuit of enlightenment. Buddhism begins with mindfulness. It's the practice of being fully present and engaged in every moment, of paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment or distraction. Mindfulness is a fundamental part of the Buddhist path and is the first step towards understanding the true nature of reality. And then there is compassion. In Buddhism, compassion isn't just about feeling pity or sympathy for others. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all living beings and striving to alleviate suffering wherever it exists. Compassion in Buddhism is an active force, a call to action that compels us to engage with the world around us, in a meaningful and beneficial way. Lastly, Buddhism is about the pursuit of enlightenment. But what does that really mean? Enlightenment in Buddhism isn't about reaching a state of perfection or divine transcendence. It's about realizing the inherent emptiness and impermanence of all things, about freeing oneself from the cycle of desire and suffering, and about awakening to the unfiltered truth of existence. This journey towards enlightenment isn't a linear path, nor is it a destination that can be reached through sheer force of will. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving, a lifelong commitment to self-discovery and personal transformation. Through mindfulness, we learn to live in the present. Through compassion, we learn to connect with others. Through the pursuit of enlightenment, we learn to see the world as it truly is. Buddhism is not just about following rituals or adhering to doctrines. It's about cultivating an inner state of peace and contentment, about finding balance amidst the chaos of life, about embracing the imperfections of our human existence. Buddhism invites us all to embark on a journey of self-discovery and inner peace. It's a call to awaken, to learn, to grow, and to become the best versions of ourselves. We have journeyed through time, exploring the origins, evolution, and essence of Buddhism. We've seen how this ancient religion was birthed from the profound insights of Siddhartha Gautama, a prince who relinquished his royal comforts in pursuit of enlightenment. We delved into the heart of Buddhism with the Four Noble Truths, which provide a pragmatic framework to understand the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. These truths form the backbone of Buddhist teachings and practices, guiding millions in their quest for inner peace. Our journey took us across centuries and continents as we traced the spread of Buddhism. From its roots in the Indian subcontinent, Buddhism has branched out, taking root in numerous cultures and societies around the world, shaping and being shaped by them in turn. We caught a glimpse of Buddhism Today, a vibrant tapestry of traditions, interpretations, and practices. It continues to inspire and guide individuals towards compassion, mindfulness, and wisdom, proving its timeless relevance in our fast-paced modern world. The essence of Buddhism, as we've seen, transcends religious labels and dogmas. It is a path of inner transformation, of understanding and liberating oneself from the shackles of ignorance and suffering. As we end our journey, we realize that Buddhism, in its essence, is a path of inner transformation, a journey from suffering to liberation.